Hello and welcome to the newspaper review here on TAF TV. Of course, this is where we analyze and dissect trending and catchy headlines every day. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today. And we're at the street of Port Harcourt like we've been doing it every other day to get to hear the reactions of people on the streets and what they have to say as regards the headlines. And you can also be a part of the show. Do well to drop your comments in the comment section. And if you are yet to subscribe to our channel, do well to subscribe, turn on the notification button, connect with us across all our social media platforms so you get to receive our notifications. Well, before we get to hear what people on the streets have to say, let's look into the papers and let's see what the headlines look like. Today being 13th February, Tuesday, 2024, we'll be looking at the Daily Sun. We could see as headline says, PDP governors tackle federal government over high cost of living. Sub-story under that reads, lament falling naira, worsening insecurity. Details is found on page 6. We could see at the banner story here reads, gunmen kill cop, free inmates in Imo prisons. Farm settlement attack. I take that again. It says, gunmen kill cop, free inmate prisons. Gunmen kill cop, free inmates in Imo prison farm settlement attack. Sub-story under that read, 4 killed, 3 injured in fresh Plateau attack. A very sad one. This is found on page 4 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We could see here it says, phase out electricity subsidy. IMS tells federal government. This is found on page 25. Alleged procurement fraud. EFCC opens case against Emefiele. This Emefiele's case is still thriving in the FCC and the DSS custody. Details is found on page 5. All right, you see as headline here reads, how foreign airlines discriminate against Nigerian pilots, engineers. Sub-story under that read, Minister, NCAA DG, Sean inquiry under FOI. Details is found on page 14 and 15 of the Daily Sun newspaper. We could see as headline here, it says, nurses protest new guideline for certificate verification. Details is found on page 26. Kanu Emir to Tinubu's wife. Tell president's hunger, insecurity alarming. Details is found on page 6. And lastly, we could see here it says, court admits 2 phones containing nude shots in evidence against suspended Unical professor. Details is found on page 5. And that's all be taken on the Daily Sun newspaper. And moving on, we'll be looking at the Nation's newspaper. We could see as headline here reads, we paid $6.2 million and Emefiele's directive, says CBN director. Details is found on page 3. 10 years after 1 billion naira deposit, NEMA yet to get aircraft. Details is found on page 4. IPOB warns Southeast governors against establishing cattle ranches. Details is found on page 6. Labour Party treasurer seeks probe of misuse party's 3.5 billion naira cash. Details is found on page 4. Governors, NSA join forces to battle insecurity, food crisis. Details is found on page 6. A blow of fate. This is found on page 2. Access Bank workers, we will sustain Wigwe's legacy. Yes, they have to actually sustain Wigwe's legacy because some persons, especially customers of Access Bank, are scared about what will be their predicament and what will happen if their money and their shares are being saved in Access Bank. All right, still on the newspapers, we could see as headline here reads, Nigeria's oil production up by 1,777 BPD in January. This is found on page 6. First Lady challenges over soon. This is found on page 3, and that's all we'll be taking on the Nation's newspaper. We're looking at the Punch newspaper. You see as headline here reads, minimum wage. Private sector, states, fault labor's push for 1 million naira. This is found on page 2. 50th anniversary, Punchers begin training for novelty match. This is found on page 30. Outages, federal government plans sanction for non-performing discos. This is found on page 22. We could see as headline in the main story here reads, Wigwe, federal government, US begins talk as officials test copters wreckage. Sub-story under that reads, NTSB relocates chopper's engine. Roto's blood. Roto's blade, landing gears today. Nigeria to support US team. Another sub-story under that reads, Abiodun Dangote, others visit Wigwe Ogunbanjo's family. Late Access Bank CEO Kingsmen protest. Details of the story is found on page 21. IMS forecasts $8 billion fall in Naira's foreign reserve. Details of the story is found on page 24. Gunmen abduct kill Anambra lawyer. I take that again. Gunmen abduct, kill Anambra lawyer. Details is found on page 5. NAFDAC insists on sachet alcohol ban. Hoodlums attack officials. That's a very bad one because they are after the welfare and good health of the people, especially minorities, underaged people on the streets. All right, that's all we'll be taking on the Punch newspaper. Now let's get to see the reaction of people on the streets. Let's get to hear what they have to say as regards the headline. I would like your thoughts on the Daily Sun that says PDP governors tackle federal government over high cost of living.
You don't need to tackle anybody. Exactly. What you need is to bring our mind together to work and put Nigeria forward. And we need the right leader to put it right, not by fighting one another. This is the time to reason together, and it shall be well with us.
And then from another angle,
yes,
we know that the country is too big. This is one of the challenges because we have different thoughts. The person that you feel is the right candidate might not be who I feel is the right
We
candidate.
are not even half of China. It is not
China has more coordination than
yes, we do not coordinate ourselves. That's the problem we have.
But from another view, is the country really hard, or is just the
country is not hard? It's for us to have a right leader to put it right.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like your thoughts on the Punch newspaper that says Wigwe, federal government, US begins stock as official test choppers wreckage.
Yes, the death of the young man is really a tragic one, especially at this time when Nigeria needs somebody like him that will look up to him for the troubles we are facing, especially the economy of Nigeria, and somebody of that caliber we lost him. So whatever talk they are talking, that one is official. We the common man, we are the people who are really affected. Do you understand?
Especially he built a university in Ishoko, so we don't know the outcome, like what will happen.
Many other humanitarian services that this young man is rendering. At his age, he has gotten to such level, and we are looking up to him. Oh God, when will we reach that stage?
At a very
young age. And this man and his son, so they just wanted to wipe up. If he has another person to survive him, we don't really know. But the wife, the son, and him died at the same time. So they needed to like them to probe that accident so that the whole world will know what really happened,
because it doesn't look like a natural death.
Yes, it doesn't look like a natural death.
It's not the first time he has been traveling. Nothing happened. It was when he traveled with his family.
The family that everyone died. So let the US, I know that they have good government. They have everything to really know what really happened to that young man. And they look at this River State. The River State we are talking about, where I am staying. You understand? So we know the impact of what this man death is creating.
Now, from another angle now, you know he's the CEO of Access Bank. Some persons, especially Access Bank customers, are scared if their money is in danger or not. Like if nothing will happen to their money.
I don't have that fear. I don't have that fear because the federal government will have a trustworthy person, and the federal government of Nigeria have ensured that once your money is in the bank, it is safe. Yes, it's safe. And that money they pay to federal government is an assurance that our money cannot go missing. For the layman, you may be afraid that your money, how will it happen? But
definitely it will make them lose customers.
Lose customers, yes.
Because most persons are banking with them because of
the young man.
Exactly.
And I think they have not appointed a new person for now. And if they do, I don't know whoever they want to bring, how it will look like. God bless you.
Thank you very much. I would like your thoughts on the Nation's newspaper that says we paid $6.2 million on Emefiele's directive, says CBN. This is another case of order that Emefiele gave that time as regards money embezzlement. You know he has been under investigation for a very long time now.
Taking our minds back to Emefiele's case.
And the trauma he gave us during the election period.
I could still remember those days we had to run around and buy money with our own money.
Yes, to get 5,000 naira, you pay almost 2,000.
And we are back again to his case. Taking our minds back to Emefiele, we know during his time, we knew consciously that in Nigeria, every government do have their their loopholes.
Their shortcomings.
They do have their shortcomings. And funny enough, those shortcomings will never be investigated unless they leave office. Now, taking our minds back to Emefiele, we knew consciously that, okay, this man was doing something bad. He was doing something evil to our dear nation Nigeria.
Over 200 million Nigerians.
We kept quiet. Now we're bringing it out on a newspaper again, over and over again. Now, to me, I will say conclusively, this is what our government are doing. Each time we have a new administration, they keep pushing out. Okay, they bring out the fault of. They keep bringing out. Also, Emefiele, in one word, is the current scapegoat of this present government. So it's just okay. We present this to Nigeria. This is what we are doing. Every government keeps investigating. Every government keeps investigating. So the part of him embezzling money, just like I don't want to start mentioning it, but remember one of our past leaders said, to him, he doesn't steal money, because if you steal money, you're due for arrest. He embezzles money because at that point, it takes a long-term investigation, and over time, Nigerians will get tired of the news. They'll walk away. And funny enough, if the investigation gets too thick to a point that an upper hand that has a link to the present government is about to be exposed. One way of do you
think it can apply to Emefiele's case?
I will not say otherwise, because this is Nigeria, sir. Everything happens in this country. Everything secret happens. Everything is possible in Nigeria. As long as Nigeria is mentioned, every case can be covered, including Emefiele's case. So Emefiele is not an exception. Just like I said earlier, he's only a scapegoat that has been that is ahead of the run, that the present government are using to show that surely they are doing something.
One last question now. We know that the government, the FCC and the DSS body, and the government in general is trying actually, because all our leaders, all our people in power are to be held accountable, so that when you want to get into a seat, you know that these people will hold me accountable, these people will investigate me if I embezzle money. So I have to act properly. But do you think Emefiele is being investigated properly? Because we know that for a while now, we've not heard any mention of any other name. We only hear Emefiele did this, Emefiele did that. And we know he has accomplices, definitely. Only one person cannot take a huge sum of millions of dollars.
So I will give kudos to our EFCC and the likes. They are obviously doing well, because over the years they have been investigating, and it shows they're actually doing something. But I would not conclusively say that, okay, they are doing it well, they are not doing it well, because at the end of the tail end, we don't see results. We don't see results. It's like writing an exam in school and you're never seeing the results. You keep writing exams. So I feel what we should be doing more is, in as much as we are examining these persons, in as much as we are tracing their faults, we should bring out proofs. Okay, this is at this very end. This is what we have seen. For every thank you very much. Let's keep the updates coming. In as much as we hear that he keeps embezzling, let's keep the updates coming. Let's not just do the investigation generally. At the end of the day, we get tired and the news fed up. Bet you in another 2 to 3 months to come, a new news will come out. This is Nigeria, and this news will just die off. So let's stop investigating forever. Let's start bringing results.
Thank you very much. All right, this is where we come to the end of the show for today. You've heard what people on the streets had to say about the headlines making round on the papers. Please do well to drop your comments in the comment section if you have anything to add or a counter opinion as regards what's been said here. Connect with us across all our social media platforms. Like I said earlier before, connect with us, follow us across all our social media platforms, subscribe, turn on the notification button. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and this has been the newspaper review here on TAF TV. See you next time.